In this video, you are going to learn where and how to add keywords in WordPress in a step-by-step process, so that even if you are an absolute beginner and non-SEO guy, you will be able to fully optimize your pages and blog posts for SEO. You will learn the best practices for SEO, such as where Google is searching for keywords to better understand your content in order to properly index it, how exactly to add keywords in WordPress quickly and easily, and even how this will improve your ranking. So without further ado, let's get started. But before that, if you learn anything new from this video, please like this video and write a nice comment below. Also, subscribe for more actionable SEO insights. Now, before I'm going to show you how to add keywords in WordPress, I want to first share with you the places in WordPress where you should add your keywords. This includes your blog posts and pages on your website that are meant to be driving website traffic from Google search, whether it is from Google Ads or organic search. So let me share with you the 12 places where to add keywords in WordPress for full SEO keyword optimization. Title tag, meta description, URL, headline, featured picture, introduction, subheadings, images, alt text and name, within content, category, not exactly, but I will explain, tags, and anchor text. With that, there are two parts to adding keywords in WordPress. Part number 1, adding keywords in the WordPress setting. And part number 2, adding keywords to WordPress pages and blog posts. So let me guide you step by step on how to add your target keywords in WordPress settings, blog posts, and pages. The first part is to add keywords in the WordPress setting and set up everything before you start publishing content on your website. However, even if you are already started publishing content on your website, it's alright, as you can add everything after that as well. With that, let's start with the first part of adding keywords in the WordPress setting. The first step of adding keywords in WordPress is to install an SEO plugin. SEO plugins will help you to add keywords in certain sections in WordPress, as well as give you extra pair of SEO eyes in case you forget to optimize your web page or blog post for SEO. It shows you the SEO optimization score of your page, which is a great indicator of how well you have optimized your page, especially if you are not particularly an SEO expert. And what's good about SEO plugins like Rank Math is that you can add your focus keyword, so it helps you to track it with a checklist where you can include keywords in your page and where you forget them. And there are many more benefits of having an SEO plugin. However, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to add keywords in WordPress, and the SEO plugin will greatly help you with some of that. With that, there are plenty of great SEO plugins for WordPress you can use, and all of them provide the same features you will need to add keywords in WordPress. But for this video, I will be using Rank Math, which I definitely recommend to everyone, as for me, it's a #1 SEO plugin for WordPress. So to install Rank Math SEO plugin, log in into your WordPress dashboard, and under plugins, click on Add New. Here you will write the name of the plugin, Rank Math, into the search plugins bar and click on Install Now. And after clicking on Activate. For me, because I have already installed and activated, this option is not there. Then it will guide you through the Rank Math setup wizard to properly set it up for your website. Don't worry, it's super easy. Otherwise, you can also watch some videos. But for now, you don't need to worry about this, as once the plugin is activated, it enables the feature you'll need. The second step is to stop tags and maybe categories from being indexed in Google. For WordPress tags, it is fairly obvious, as because you will be creating a lot of different tags to add your keywords in WordPress, which would create a tremendous number of unnecessary pages in the index, often with only one or a few articles being there. This has little to no value to your users and search engines, and you or anybody would very rarely find these pages ranking. However, they could also be hurting your SEO performance by creating duplicated content or lowering your overall SEO ranking. For WordPress categories, you will want to no-index them only if you are going to create your own Content Hub pages. Otherwise, keep your categories indexed until you create your own Content Hub categories. Content hub pages are a list of curated content around a specific topic from your website for users and search engines to easily find your related content and understand the semantic meaning. For example, I have created my own content hub pages to replace the categories SEO, content marketing, lead generation, and digital marketing. Therefore, all my categories are no index. Just for your information, this is an example of what Content Hub for SEO could look like. However, Content Hub pages are advanced SEO topics and you don't have to worry about it now. So you can keep your category index if you are not creating Content Hub pages. With that, to automatically index all your null tags, you will use Rank Math as they make it super easy. To do that, go to Rank Math, Titles and Meta, and Tags. Here you will want to tick the boxes No Index, No Archive, No Snippet, and No Image Index to ensure avoid any duplicates. If you don't see it, you need to enable the Tags, Archive, Robots, Meta settings. Don't forget to save the changes. Now, this will only no index any new tags you will create after this setting has been implemented. So, if you have already any tags on your website, you will have to manually no index them. To do that, just go to the Post and Tags, and then click on one of your old tags. Here you will scroll down to the Rank Map setting. Click on Advanced and tick the following boxes, same as before. For categories, if you are creating your own hub pages now, then to no index categories it's exactly the same as for tags. Remember, this will only no index any categories created after this setting was implemented. If you are already having some categories, you will have to manually no index them the same way. Lastly, you will also want to enable the no index, empty category and tags archives, and capitalized titles options in the titles and meta and global settings in Rank Math. In the next step, you will want to create categories to categorize your blog post. WordPress categories will help you to categorize your blog post, which helps better process information for users and search engines. And also, it can help indexing and ranking your content. Thus, it's important to create a logical structure for your categories. So, to create blog post categories, just go to the categories under the post in the sidebar menu in the WordPress dashboard. With that, what categories you will create purely depends on the topics you want to write about and the niche and industry you are in. So let me give you a few niche examples of how I would create categories. The first example is the digital marketing niche. In this niche, I would create categories such as SEO, content marketing, blogging, email marketing, social media marketing, and digital marketing. Now, the reason why I would create categories like this, even despite email marketing, blogging, and social media marketing are essentially subcategories of content marketing, is because then it's a less massive when I create subcategories for each of these categories, when I will start expanding the article base and go more in depth for each category. For example, for the category SEO, I could create the subcategories such as SEO, keyword research, link building, search engines, technical SEO, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, SEO content, or CMS. The second example is search engine optimization or SEO niche. Just to show you what if you really niche down and focus only on one category and what categories you would create then. Basically, all the subcategories from before would become categories. And because you really niche down, you could create way more categories to really cover everything there is to SEO. Trust me, there is a lot. And of course, then you could create subcategories for each of these, like for example, and under CMS could be WordPress, HubSpot, Drupal, Squarespace, and others. And the last example would be the alcoholic beverage niche to create categories. Again, it depends on what alcoholic beverages you will be writing about. But the categories could go like this: beer, bourbon, champagne, cognac, rum, vodka, wine, whiskey, and under whiskey could be Japanese whiskey, Irish whiskey, Scottish whiskey, and others. As said, having categories will help you to create a logical structure of your content for users and search engines to better understand your content and the angle of the content. However, no need to stress about it too much. The goal is to have a logical structure of your categories. but I wouldn't go too deep and create many subcategories. I would create only subcategories and not any subcategories, as any articles under subcategories can be just easily categorized under the subcategory or even category, and search engines and users will perfectly understand it. The next important step is to write meta description and title text for your categories. While there is a very small chance that your categories will be actually ranking for some meaningful keywords that could drive website traffic, it's another way to help search engines understand your website and the content you are producing. Therefore, I recommend writing meta description and title text for your category pages, even if you create custom content hub pages to replace category pages, as it's just an extra way to help search engines understand your website. Anyway, to write title text and meta description, go to the categories page in the WordPress dashboard and click on the category. Here, you will want to write H1 heading and include your category keyword. In this case, it is content marketing. You can write descriptive headings like best place to learn content marketing, or do like me and just write the keyword itself. Don't forget to put it as a H1. Write a short description of the category and include your category keyword within it as well. If it is a subcategory, put it under category it belongs to. Otherwise, leave it as none. And lastly, update your Slack. As you can see, I have added the C, which stands for the category, in front of the content marketing Slack. And the reason why is because I have created my own content hub page to replace the default WordPress category pages. And I'm using the content marketing Slack there, instead of in my category page. And then I redirected the default category page into my custom content hub page. I would recommend you do the same, as in the future you might create your own content hub pages to replace the default WordPress category pages, as they are not as SEO friendly. Alright, once you have done this, then you will scroll down to see the rank map setting and click on Edit Snippet. Here you want to basically copy what you have written above. In the title, copy the H1 heading from the description. You can also add the category part like me and add your branding if you want. In permalink, this will follow the Slack you have written before. And in the description, copy the description you have written above. Easy peasy. And now, you want to do this for all your category pages. Once you have completed the first part, then the second part is the actual part where you will learn how to add keywords in WordPress content, such as blog posts and pages that you want to rank. So let's get on with it. The first place where you include your target or primary keyword is in the headline of your article or page. Headlines are the most visible element on your website, and on average 8 out of 10 people will read headline copy, but only 2 out of 10 will read the rest. So it's extremely important that your headline is catchy and relevant to your users, and one of the best ways to do that is to include the keyword they are looking for. Not only that, but headlines are also a strong signal for Google to help them better understand the content on the page. Now, one of the headline SEO best practices is to put your keyword at the beginning rather than towards the end. For example, look at my article on SEO strategy. Of course, this is not always possible, as sometimes for sake of improving the headline, you would add the keyword in the middle, like in my article on profitable keywords. With that, to add keywords in headlines in WordPress, just go to your page or blog post and write your headline here with the keyword. The next place where you add keywords in WordPress is in your title. Usually, titles and headlines are kept the same for relevancy purposes, as different headlines and titles can be confusing for people. Therefore, the SEO best practices for titles are exactly the same as for headlines. With that, to add keywords in title in WordPress, you will be using your SEO plugin. In this case, I'm using the Rank Math. And there are two places where the Rank Math page or blog post setting is located, which can vary based on your WordPress theme. The first place is in your right sidebar. For this, you will need to click on the Rank Math score to open the setting. And the second place is under the article, where the Rank Math setting looks like this. For this video, I'm going to be using this one, but don't worry, once you find the place, the features and settings are exactly the same. Alright, once you find the Rank Math setting location, then click on Edit Snippet. And just like before, the settings looks exactly the same when we were changing the category styles and meta description. Here, you can leave the setting as it is, so it will take the title from your headline. or you can manually change it. In 90% of the time, you will keep it as it is, especially for blog posts. Also, you can see the keyword has been bolded to show that the focus keyword has been included in the title. The next place where to add keywords in WordPress is in your meta description. Again, this is basically the same process as adding meta description for your categories. So, to add keywords in your meta description is the same as adding into the title. Go into your page rank math setting and click on Edit Snippet. Here, you will want to write a short description of the blog post or page and include the primary keyword there. It also will button the focus keyword, just to show you it has been added in the description, just like in the title. Therefore, don't forget to add the focus keyword to ensure Rank Math knows what keyword you are targeting and customize the checklist. The next step in how to add keywords in WordPress is to add keywords in your subheadings, as said by John Miller. So, headings on the page help us to better understand the content on the page. Headings on the page are not the only ranking factor that we have. We look at the content on its own as well. But sometimes having a clear heading on the page gives us a little bit more information on what the section is about. With that, you have already added your keyword in your headline, and not always you will be able to add again the keyword in your subheadings without making it unnatural. Therefore, in many of my articles, I only include the keyword in the headline and I won't repeat it in the subheading, as there is no way to do that without stuffing the keyword. But if you can naturally include the main keyword in another subheading, then go for it. Like for example, in my article on B2B blog strategy. Usually, you can repeat the primary keyword when you are explaining what, why, and hows for the target keyword. Otherwise, it might be challenging. So don't worry if you cannot add the keyword in another subheading. Always keep it natural. And to add keywords in your subheading in WordPress, just make it H2 or H3 and etc. Just like in Microsoft Word or Google Docs when you are making your subheadings. The next place you should know how to add keywords in WordPress is in your introduction. For example, if you look at every of my article, you will find that I mention the primary keyword in my introduction. Sometimes I'm also trying to mention the other variant of the primary keyword, like in this example, SEO URL and SEO friendly URL are two versions of my target keyword, so I made sure I include both in the introduction. This will help Google to easier identify the main topic and the target keyword I'm targeting with this article, because as the article progresses, more keywords will be mentioned and it will become harder for Google to identify the topic. That's why adding the keyword right at the beginning will help Google verify what's the topic about. Lastly, it also helps writers to quickly explain what will be discussed to ensure readers they have the right topic they were searching, which helps improve retention and lower bounce rate, which subsequently improves ranking. The next important part in adding keywords in WordPress is to make sure you mention the target keyword a couple of times within your content body as well. Now, most likely, if you are writing an article, then you will naturally mention the keyword a couple of times. At least, most of the times I'm seeing this. However, it's not always, as John Miller explained on adding keywords in content. So, in particular, things like singular and plural or kind of like different ways of writing the individual words. That's something that you probably don't need to worry about. But mentioning what your site is about and kind of like what you want to be found for, that's something I would still do. So, in particular, what we sometimes see when we look at things like news articles, if a news site doesn't really understand SEO, they might write in a way that is more like almost like literature, in that you read it and you kind of understand what it means, but the exact words that are used on a page don't really map to exactly that topic. So that's something where, from an SEO point of view, if there is something you want to rank for, I would still mention that on a page. I wouldn't go overboard with the number of mentions. I wouldn't go overboard with all of the synonyms and different ways of writing it. But mentioning it at least once definitely makes sense. So what it means is that you should still try to mention your keyword within the body at least a couple of times. You can also see that John Miller is trying to avoid any recommendation on keyword density, as it would lead to keyword stuffing. However, to be safe, I would recommend keyword density around 0.25% to 0.5%. If you are below, just to sprinkle the keyword around. Or if your keyword density is higher than 1% and you are writing naturally, then keep it. All this depends on the topic you write about. Sometimes achieving a keyword density of 0.1% is very hard, and sometimes 3% keyword density happens in natural writing. As you can see, my keyword density range from very small all the way to high. Remember, you want to keep your writing natural, like you are talking to people and you should be good. The next place where you should add keywords in WordPress is in your images. When it comes to SEO image optimization, there are a lot of things you can do, as you can see in this infographic. However, when it comes to adding keywords to your images, I recommend this. Add primary keyword in your featured picture, alt text and name. Add the primary keyword in about every third picture on the page and sprinkle LSI keywords as well. Write descriptive names of the pictures and use them as an alt text. As you can see, for my blogger outreach article, as a feature picture, I just name it with only the target keyword, while other pictures on the page are having descriptive names with the keyword within. Remember, Google is scanning everything that is on your page, including images. Therefore, adding keywords in your images is another great way to let Google know what's your page about. Another place where I like to add keywords in WordPress is in the tags. Now, before we start, WordPress tags are not considered a ranking factor. However, Google does look at them to get a better understanding of what's the page about. Therefore, here is another way how to add keywords in WordPress in tags. For example, let's say I finish my article to target the keyword blogging for business and I want to add keywords in my tags, including primary, secondary, and other relevant keywords. For example, let's say I finish my article to target the keyword blogging for business and I want to add keywords in my tags, including primary, secondary, and other relevant keywords. First, I add the primary keyword, secondary keyword, and any other relevant keywords that this article could rank for that comes to my mind. Then I use the SE ranking competitive research tool to analyze the top ranking pages for this keyword to see what other keywords the page can rank for, and add around the top 10 ranking keywords within my WordPress tags that I believe are relevant and the page could rank for the keywords. Like this, I can help Google to better understand my content and what I'm trying to talk about even more. The next important keyword placement in WordPress and how to add keywords in WordPress is in the URL of the page. SEO-friendly URL is a teeny tiny ranking factor after it is indexed, which means before Google accesses the content on your web page, you can already give them a pretty good idea what's your content about. It's also super easy to make SEO URLs in WordPress. Let me show you. For example, if you target the keyword fluffy chicken and your title is 20 super fluffy. For example, if you target the keyword fluffy chicken and your title is 20 super ultra fluffy chicken that your cat would be jealous, WordPress will take the headline and create a URL out of that. However, this is not the most SEO friendly URL as it's too long, it's not evergreen, and also it could be confusing for search engines what exactly you are targeting. Is it fluffy chicken, fluffy cat, or jealous cats? Instead, you always want to include only the primary keyword in your URL, and that's all, like I did for every of my content on my website, as it can help users and search engines understand what type of content it is. For example, if you are providing link building services, then having proper SEO architecture and SEO URL architecture will clearly display what's the type and purpose of the content. So, like this, if somebody is searching for link building services, Google can serve the right content on your website. With that, adding a keyword in the URL in the WordPress is pretty easy. Just click on Edit button next to the permalink in the WordPress page or post dashboard and change the URL to your primary keyword only and click on OK. Or if you are using Gutenberg, go to the permalink setting. Also, do this always before you publish the page or post, as once you edit the permalink after the page or post is published, Google would consider it as a new page. Thus, you could lose all the backlinks the page generated, which means you would lose your ranking as well as you could have problems with broken internal links. To learn more about how to create SEO URLs, you can watch my video right here. And the last place, where and how to add keywords in WordPress, is in the anchor text, internal links on other of your web pages. Internal links for SEO are very important, and Google uses internal links in numerous ways. Google uses internal links to crawl your website. Google uses internal links to understand the importance of your pages. Google passes PageRank via links. This is a direct way to improve your ranking. And Google uses internal links to better understand your pages. Therefore, you should actively build internal links for your web pages, because you can directly influence your ranking for your most important pages. And you should also add keywords in your internal links anchor text to help Google better understand the content. For example, here you can see two anchor texts, one linking to link building strategies article and the other linking to a guest booking article. Both of these anchor texts are the exact primary keywords I'm targeting with those articles I'm linking to from this article. With that, creating an internal link is super easy. Just go to the page or blog post backend, select the text that you want to become an anchor text, and click on Insert or Edit Link icon. And then write the name or headline of the article you want to link to, or paste the URL into the box. If you write a keyword in the box, then select the right article you want to link to. This will give you the URL of the article. If the URL is correct, click on blue with arrow button to confirm it. This is for the default editor. For the Gutenberg, select the text and click on the link icon. Then search or type the URL and select the correct page or post. Of course, the way how you add internal links may differ based on the WordPress theme you are using. Also, I want to show you a quick tip on how to find internal linking opportunities using Google search. For example, let's say I've published a new article targeting the keyword on-page SEO, and I want to find where I have mentioned this keyword in other of my articles. So to do that, I use the site operator, add my domain name, and then the keyword I'm searching for. This will quickly reveal any keyword mentioned within my other articles, and I can start creating internal links with the exact keyword anchor text for my new content to be quickly discovered and get the valuable link juice for better ranking. You can also use an internal linking plugin such as Link Whisper to help you create internal links. But be careful, as not every suggestion is totally accurate. Lastly, don't stick to only exact keyword anchor text, but add some broad and descriptive keywords just to give extra content to Google about your page. And that's all from me. I hope you have learned something new, so please like this video, write a nice comment below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, check out all my links in the description for my favorite SEO and other marketing tools. Ciao!